We're going to do a live demonstration how to 3S, sort, sweep, standardise. This is different from just cleaning. This is a real mess. So just keep this in, this is good. You can't implement a lean culture by sitting in the office. 3S every day, your company will be world class. Most people don't know how to 3S and most people don't know the power of 3S. We 3S in the mornings, so sort, sweep, standardise. Every day with every person. And it seems like such a simple thing, but companies come to see our facility every single week from all over the world to see how we've implemented lean. And we keep saying 3S, 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 but very little people get it, very little people internalize it. And this is the single biggest thing that transformed our company. The video that we're doing here now is explaining in detail with a live demonstration exactly how to 3S. Because I believe there's too much information out there on YouTube, on LinkedIn about lean. There's too many conferences, people read too many books, but how many people are actually doing lean? How many people are getting on the gemba, on the shop floor, getting their hands dirty? Like, look at my hands. I've just spent the last hour 3S'ing a workbench. If you're not getting your hands dirty, you're not doing lean. We're going to do a live demonstration on exactly how to 3S. So this workbench right behind me, we've just picked a random bench in the factory. We've been doing lean for over 10 years and we still can find loads and loads of problems and loads of opportunities to improve. But the best way to find improvements is to 3S. Ben works here doing final assembly, so I'm going to ask Ben to work along with me here. So the first of the 3S's is sort. So sort basically means to sort out everything we don't need from the work area. So we're just going to go through, and Ben, you can tell me because I don't know.
Yeah.
What do we use here and what do we not?
Firstly, welcome to my work area, Ryan. But
Thank you.
A lot of things, it is a wee bit cluttered. So like the stabilizing fit, we no longer use they're an old type model. So
right, so anything that we don't need, we're going to put on here. For the purpose of this video, this is going to be the sorting station, if you like. So you can tell me, Ben, what we use.
So stabilizing feet no longer in use.
Don't use these. Okay, what else? What else do we
clipboard
not
was
use?
used to have to sign off stuff, so haven't used that in a while, so we can get rid of that too. That drill holder used to be used, but again we have more metal ones, so get rid of that.
Walkie-talkie, is that used?
Not anymore, Ryan. Couple of stuff over here. Kanban holder.
Okay.
Scissors probably. Have our set.
There's a washer clip, is this used?
No.
So we're just going around sorting the workbench to see what we need and what we don't. Because the goal is to work in a clutter-free environment where there's no clutter, so that we can focus on work and focus on doing a good job. So these aren't needed?
No, not anymore.
This label, is that, I assume that's not?
No.
Okay. So in just a few minutes, look how much stuff we've sorted that wasn't needed in this work area. Once you go into the detail, you really find how much stuff that we don't need. When we started to implement lean, one of the first things we done was focus on 3S. So anytime our lean journey goes off course, we come right back to the basics. And the basics is 3S. Very few companies get this. And hopefully after watching this video, you've had a light bulb moment and you can look at your workplace, look at your factory, look at your business in a different light. Your work area should be a clean, organised, calm environment. You shouldn't be distracted by all these tools you don't need, all this paperwork you don't need, all the extra files to allow you to focus on doing the work. That's the first one, sort. So the second S is sweep. And sweep and sort kind of go hand in hand because some people sweep first to find what they need sorted, some people sort first. To be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as you're doing it. So this basically means to clean or sweep the area. And yes, it is about cleaning, but it's to uncover abnormalities. So straight away I've noticed a pen 2.2. Is there a place for this pen, Ben?
Not yet, Ryan.
Not yet, so there's a potential improvement there, okay. So we're getting in every single corner. If you want to make sure we're getting this with the camera, I want everybody to see how important this is, that we're going into every area. We're leaving no place untouched because there's two more parts that I can see that don't have a place. and we wouldn't see these if we weren't sweeping the area. Do we need all this stuff, or what do you...
These were parts came through, so probably could go with the other parts where I'll keep them under here just while they await upholstery or other attachments and stuff, but I could probably do with a label or an opportunity to improve there.
Okay, what
them
about
bolts
these
as well, they would be used for just a certain type of thing, so it'd probably be best to actually get a place for them,
So
even though I need only a small number of them.
So we do use them. So
yeah.
What I might do is bring in Paul. We'll just stop and do this while the video is playing to show how quick we act when we find the potential improvement. So Paul, we found these bolts. Ben's saying that we do use these. Do you want to work on that while we continue to sweep here? So you see the benefit. I just want everybody to really get this. The benefit of sweeping is to uncover abnormalities. We never would be talking about this if we didn't sweep. So I'm getting into every single area, even in below these yellow boxes. There, I found another tool. So we can now question, do we need this? If we need it, we'll make a place. So you can see how this is different from just cleaning, because we could pay a cleaner to come in and clean the workbench and it would be clean.
No.
But if somebody isn't a lean thinker, isn't thinking about continuous improvement, they're probably just cleaning, they're not thinking, how can I make this better? I've noticed this as well. This drill holder actually doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
What do you think? Could we...
I could definitely improve that as well, just so it's the same as the rest, whereas it just normally sits there for me.
There's an aerosol can.
Normally we'd keep it here, but again, doesn't have a place or a label, so it'll be better if you had that.
Probably a good learning, and I want the camera to see this as well, because this aerosol can just sits here. So it's not standardized. We would say that that doesn't have a place, so we could work on that. We could have a better holder for the aerosol. So the physical act of cleaning forces you to look into every corner of your business. So I've just found a lot of stuff in here. Look at this. Just find all this rubbish just lying below the yellow box. So there's a box, and to me this isn't standardized. The box itself is labeled, but the box doesn't have a place on the table. So if I took this away, I would never know where it goes back to. There's another one, Paul, maybe you can have a look at that as well. Just moving on around. Is this needed here, Ben?
That's a part coming through. It's just we're waiting the upholstery, but it probably would be better on the other side while we wait. So
we probably need a place saying parts waiting on upholstery. That's a potential improvement as well. For somebody coming across my content for the first time, you might be thinking, yes, it all sounds good, it all looks good, but when do you get the time to 3S? You're probably thinking, we're so busy, our company's got loads of orders going out, we don't have time. But we actually take time every single day. We have what's called improvement time. And during improvement time, every person in the company 3S's. I've just noticed that there's no crumb trail. So for anybody that doesn't know what a crumb trail is, this is a crumb trail, which is basically a label to show us exactly where to restock this part from. Just notice this as well. So there's a label. Another benefit of sweeping is that you kind of find labels that are kind of tattery and not up to standard. So we'll make a new label for that as well.
While you were sorting, Ryan, I got a wee label for the upholstery stuff here. So we now know where it goes and what it is now. So we now know that that's all awaiting the upholstery. Yep.
And you might think, what's the point of spraying something and cleaning something that already looks clean? And again, the reason is to uncover abnormalities. So straight away I'm asking the question, what's this bit of wood for? Is this needed? It was maybe stuck on, 2 years ago, but it's still there. Ben, is this bit of wood needed? Or what's that for?
To be honest, Ryan, I don't actually know. It was there when I came.
It was there when you came, okay. So
I don't think it has any purpose. It just sort of is there.
Okay, so I think, what do you think? Do you think we should take it away?
Take it away, probably, yeah.
Okay, because it makes it more difficult to clean as well. There's an extension lead and it's kind of tangled around these parts, which isn't ideal. So we need to get some better way of managing the cables. So this is actually a safety risk as well. So sweeping uncovers potential safety hazards as well. Too many people complicate lean. They're reading all the books, they're watching videos, but the real lean is getting your hands dirty and 3S'ing. And if you 3S and do nothing, only 3S in your company every day, your company will be world class. There's just no doubt about that. So because I'm sweeping this, I'm just going to ask the question, what is this? Is it needed? Can we standardize this? Because if somebody took this away, we wouldn't know where it goes back to. What about putting them on could we put like a bolt on through here and hang them up?
Yeah, and I would take that away. It would
might be a better
shout.
Because it's kind of making it difficult to clean as well. So that's another thing Paul can help us with. I want to make another very important point here, is that it's so important for every lean organization to have a Paul. So Paul's full-time making improvements, making brackets, and supporting the entire team with doing lean improvements, because it's not easy to just go and make a bracket or screw something up. Most people don't find it easy, but the benefit of having an improvement manager, a Paul in your company to support people with improvements is massive. I'm also noticing all these cables. There's a lot of cable management needed here. I actually didn't realize how bad this was going to be until we started. So we've been very open and very honest with what we're doing. We've been doing lean for 10 years and look how many improvements we're finding. And this is what lean is all about. It's a continuous journey, and I think it's important for people who watch the content and watch the videos. It's important for you to know that we're absolutely not perfect. We're on a journey as well. See the way this stuff just sits here, Ben?
Yep.
I've just noticed this is important as well. So we're drilling here, and some of the drill filings are ending up on this. But then we have painted parts on here, and I can already see like scores.
Good chance of scoring.
Scores in the parts. So this is a quality issue. And again, I wouldn't have known this, or I wouldn't even be thinking like this if I wasn't sweeping the area.
So in this small area here, what I've done is I found multiple improvements. We had drills here that weren't labelled on the top. So 2 drills labelled. The batteries as well weren't colour coded or labelled. So done them. This drill holder was loose, so had I tighten that up. Coming over here then we had spanners that weren't colour coded or labelled as well. And then this screwdriver had colour on it, but it hadn't got an area number, so labelled it up as well. Same here, so a lot of improvements here in this one small area. We're going to go on, we actually found the pliers for this area here, so they're back in place. And these couple of tools that were here are colour coded, but we need to label them and get them a magnet in place. What I'm going to do next is, these here were found just sitting in this block, so we're going to take them off there and we're going to put them closer to where they're used, and we're going to hang them on this trolley here. I'm going to go to the improvement trolley, get the bits that I need, the tools, and get it hung on. We will label in behind these as well, so when you take this away, we'll know exactly what template goes back on which hanger. So I just noticed in this area here, we don't actually have matting down to stand on. And you can see the floor here now where it's all wore around, where Ben's been standing, and you can see the cable on the floor as well. So the matting going over the top of that takes away that trip hazard as well. So we'll get the matting, we'll get it put down here in place as well. So that's the matting down now, and it actually does away with the trip hazard of the lid going across here to the pedals. And it's a real good job. It's far easier to stand on than a concrete floor. We noticed this bit of timber on here. This bit of timber was on here, I think to maybe stop green boxes sliding back. It's no longer in use, so we're going to take it out. So that's that taken away now. A lot of cables, they're rolled up here, a lot of air pipes, so everything's kind of, it's all congested in this one area. So we're going to tidy that there up a bit.
The amount of improvements we're finding already is just incredible, and it's all down to still sort and sweep. We still haven't got to standardise. It's just crazy how much stuff in one work area that we didn't need. Not everybody is going to buy into this from day one, and I get that and I understand that, because our team didn't buy into it on day one. And what I always say is to go really slow, really considered, but be persistent, and to lead by example. I'm 3Sing every day. You can see my hands are dirty. I'm on the shop floor. I'm on the gemba. I'm working with our people. And when somebody in a leadership position has that passion for 3S and that passion for lean, it can't not work. So if you're struggling to implement lean in your organisation, I would go back a few steps and ask, are the leaders really into this? Are they supporting what we're doing? You can't implement a lean culture by sitting in the office. So I love spending improvement time getting stuck in. When everybody sees that I'm willing to get down on my hands and knees and clean our factory, well then there's no reason that anybody else can't do it. So we just noticed this cable kind of lying on the ground, so we're going to cable tie it to the bottom of the workbench. So we're going to tidy this up next to get it off the workbench. I really want people to get this because I'm so passionate about this. When you're physically cleaning, you're noticing a loose cable. You're noticing a tool that isn't labelled. You're noticing an oil leak on a machine. But if we weren't cleaning to inspect, these things are passing us by. If you 3S every day, you will transform your organisation, full stop. So now we're into the third S, which is standardise. So sort, we sorted everything away. We swept or cleaned to uncover abnormalities, and now we're going to standardise. And to be really, really honest, this is the most difficult of the 3S. So we're going to do a walk around the table and look at all the improvements that we're going to work on to standardise what we're doing here. So I'm going to bring Kira into the video here now, because Kira, this is actually a big point. You should have somebody or a few people in your organisation who can support people with standardising, because I believe it's the most difficult of the 3S's. So we're just going to do a scan around the table. Kira, so the first thing I've noticed here, there's a missing crumb trail. I really want everybody to get how big of a deal this is. So this is what we call improvement cards. And it's not always possible to do your improvement within the allocated 30-minute improvement time. So we capture it on a card, and then Kira can go and work on it whenever you get time. Yeah, sure. So standardising is giving a place for everything. So if I took this away, nobody would know where it goes back to. So standardising is about making a place for everything and everything in its place. Paul has already standardised the silicone spray, so this is exactly where it goes to. Before it was just sitting on the table. Paul has labelled the drills, so standardise. He standardised the drill. We've already standardised these tools. But over here, Kira, I think we can make a better label. So these were sitting on the bench before, and Paul went ahead and made these bolts. But I'll just do that again. Yeah. That could be better as well, Paul. I think we need a better bolt.
Could be a quite a wee.
I think a longer. That's maybe confusing too.
Yeah.
Because you think that's one of the holes. If we make it massive, you wouldn't think it's one of the holes.
You need something to hook onto it or hook it over a...
See if you had a longer bolt. We'll just keep this in, this is good. See if you had a longer bolt with a nut in the end of it. And then a bigger hole here, and this kind of...
socket button hole.
Kind of hooks over it.
Yeah.
So Paul's going to work on that. And Kira, I think we could label these better. So when we take this away, we'll know exactly what's here. So whatever label is on here will be the same. I think that there's a tool here that needs standardised, because if I just took that away.
Don't know where it belongs to.
Yep, don't know where it goes back to. Okay. I've noticed that this is the wrong number, so this needs standardised. So this is what we're using for 3S, and so that'll be going again. So we've got These are labelled, but they still aren't standardised. It's not followed the entire way through because it doesn't have a place. So Paul can maybe support us in working on an improvement for these 4 things. Then the next thing that I can see here is that there's no standard for where these cutters go back, and maybe colour-coded blue as well.
Yeah.
So I just want to get into the detail of how we make an improvement. So when somebody suggests an improvement during 3S time, we capture it on this card. If we can't do it there and then, we capture it. It's so important to capture the improvement, because if we don't, it could be lost forever. So the improvement then goes to this board, needing authorization, which then moves on to this triangle Pareto system that we have. And again, like everything we do, it's really simple. It's just laminated cards on a magnetic board, and the top priority improvements go to the top of the board, and they're the ones that are carried out first. Then when they're in progress, they're over here, and then completed is over here. So it's a really simple system for managing improvements. So I've said already that standardizing is the most difficult one of the S's, and it's where most people struggle. And I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. And it's because most people don't have a system for standardizing. So what we've got here is a dedicated label station for making visuals, for making labels, for making crumb trails, for making SOPs. So anybody can come up here, design a label, print it out, laminate it. You've got all your tape, you've got everything you need. You've got a guillotine. Everything is here to make standardizing as easy as possible. Standardize, there's a couple of different ways that I like to explain standardize. So the very simplest form is a place for everything and everything in its place. So do you have a place for your drill? Do you have a place for every single thing that you need to do your job? And if you don't, well then there's loads of opportunity to standardize. So that's at a very basic level, but if I take that one step further, I have to give full credit to a good friend of mine, Alex Ramirez from Houston, Texas. And Alex explained this to me so well. He said, standardizing is anything that avoids you going back to the original problem. So if we just break that down for a second. So I'm looking for my drill, I can't find it, I'm walking around looking, somebody has borrowed it. So I'm going to standardize. I'm going to make a holder, I'm going to color code it, I'm going to make a label to avoid me having that struggle again. And when we think of doing an SOP or doing a standard work or doing a Gemba doc, we're standardizing the process to avoid us going back to the original problem that we had. So this is all the stuff we were able to sort out of our work area. All the stuff we didn't need: bolts, spare hose reel, these boxes, spray, tape, scissors. So this is all sorted from the work area. So you're maybe wondering, what do we do with all this stuff once we sort it out? So what we do is we put it in a recycle trolley. And this is actually really, really important. People need a place to take their stuff when they sort. Otherwise, it will just stay in the work area. This is really important because when we're doing improvements, we can come here and pick through this stuff and use some of the stuff for future improvements. We spent the last hour or so improving this bench based on 3S. So we've labelled the air ratchets, we've made a place for this box, we made a label, standard location. These pliers were actually missing, so we found them and got them labelled again. We labelled the screwdriver, we made a place for the drill, we fixed the bracket that was hanging down, we labelled the spanner here, and below here was all cleaned. We made a label, so these are parts awaiting on upholstery. Then around here, we put down these mats. We made L brackets for exactly where they go. Moving on around here, we cleared loads of stuff away from here. There was cables hanging on here, we've got them all tidied up. There was no holder for this drill, we got that done. There was bolts and washers and stuff lying around. So the whole place is really, really clean and really organised. We got a holder for the spray bottle. We fixed this down into place because this was moving around. Moving on around here, we made loads of improvements around this area. So we standardised all the cable, got them all cable tied up. If you can remember before, there was cables and airlines everywhere. This was a real mess. We made a place for the snips. They've got a colour and a location, so that's all been improved. Moving on around here, we replaced the crumb trail on the cables because there was no crumb trail. We tightened this up because this was loose. We got rid of all the air lines that were in here as well. We shortened these air lines and cable tied all the air lines up here, so that's all nice and tidy. And then over here, we made like 20 improvements in this one area. So every single thing has a place and every single thing has a location, so we know exactly where all these tools go now. And then the templates that were over here before have now got a dedicated location, and when you take it away, you know exactly where that goes back to. We made a place for the pen as well, so everything is really dialed in. And then the last thing we done was over here was we set up a 3S schedule. So now we always like leaving everything better than we found it, so we've now left Ben with a 3S schedule that he can follow on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So 4 days a week he's got an area where this area will be 3S'd and it will maintain the standard. We've also got a total ownership label here. The amount of improvements we have done, all because we 3S'd this area. It's just incredible. There's so many benefits to 3S'ing, and I would almost go as far to say that don't even call it lean. You could basically simplify everything we're doing down to 3S. That's some of the biggest benefits to 3S. Increased productivity, efficiency, staff morale. You get to work in a nice, clean, organised environment, less stress, better flow. The product goes to the customer on time. The business does better as a result. There are so many benefits if you can really get good at 3S. The first step is to start with one small area. Make that the example area of the best version of a 3S workbench, a desk in the office, a computer desktop. It doesn't matter, just start really small. But the key is to sustain this and keep it up all the time. Don't get overwhelmed. Just take one small area of your company, one small area of your factory and 3S it, and then bring other people to say, this is what we're doing, what do you think? And people will feel the benefit. Once they feel the benefit, not just see the benefit, feel the benefit. Once they feel the benefit, they will get on board.